Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft the Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we had a little bit of a redemption arc because obviously last season we had a lot of struggle and we missed the playoffs. Well, this year we had our best season yet. We finished 57, 19, and 6 for second place in the league, and it was a really good season from a lot of guys, and I'm very happy for us to actually make it back to the playoffs, and hopefully we could win a Stanley Cup this season because we are getting into that territory where we might start to lose guys in the off seasons and stuff like that, and our team could start to take a little bit of a hit unless we have really good drafts as well coming up. But anyways, we're going to be taking on the Montreal Canadiens in the first round of the playoffs like we did a few years ago. Last time we played them, we actually won. I said in the last episode, I think, that we lost, but we actually lost to Detroit for some reason. I just got a little bit confused, but Montreal is a very solid team as well. They finished 49, 31, and 2, and they have two of the best point getters in the league at the moment. So this is going to be probably a bit of a tough task, even though our team is really good, because basically we need to contain these two guys here, Berkeley Caton and Cole Caulfield. Both these guys had insane seasons. As you can see, Cole Caulfield coming off 129 points from his 109 last year. And then you go to Berkeley Caton, who is doing really well as well in Montreal with 133 points from 96 points. So the two of those guys have been very, very good. Aside from that, they don't have the best looking team on paper in terms of depth. Their defensive core is okay. And they also do have some solid goaltending, but they do have an injury to one Uri Slavkovsky, who will be out for a few games. He will be back probably for game 4. So at least that gives a little bit of a hit to their top line, because obviously I think normally Malcolm Spence plays second line. Tolvanen might be more of a third liner, and then Musty is usually scratched. So once they get Slavkovsky back, it's going to be much harder. So hopefully we're up in the series by the time he comes back to the lineup. But anyways, that is that. And yeah, let's get into your guys' comments before we get into this first round matchup and see if we could get ourselves to that second round again and hopefully beyond that as well. So the first comment is from Ezra Hamburg, who says, I thought I posted a franchise update last season sim video, but I guess I missed it. So after the disappointing year 11, the Raiders were 297, 551, and 54. But the Raiders had an amazing rebound year and finished their 12th season with a record of 354, 570, and 60. Good season, boys. And yeah, it was a really good year for our team. Much better than last year, because last year we started off very terribly. We did find ourselves near the end of the season, but this year especially, we found ourselves right out of the gate, and we didn't really look back after that point. Next comment is from Ian.NoLove, who says, big season, really happy for Weber and Sonnenberg. Also, the special teams were great, love to see that. I think this team is stacked enough to overcome Montreal. I'm just a little bit worried about the injury thing. The game may cheese you with Wilm, Sidu, Sonnenberg traumas. Fingers crossed that will not happen. And yeah, since we have injuries turned on, it is a little bit scary that we could lose a guy randomly to an injury, and hopefully we don't get any of that in the playoffs. Hopefully we keep with a clean bill of health. Because we did suffer a couple injuries throughout the season, but they weren't like anything super long term, which is good. So hopefully if we do suffer an injury, it's only for like one day, because obviously if we lose, like, say, Wilm for the entire playoffs, that could come back to bite us, and we might not win the Stanley Cup because of that. Next comment is from Flame Husky, who says, Caton and Caulfield are scary, but the rest of the team ain't cutting it. Calling for a 5-game series, the Raiders shall sail onwards to round 2, and I hope that is the case once again. Obviously, we need to get probably to at least a conference finals this season for it to be successful, I'd say, because this team, obviously, like, will start to lose players in the offseason. Stajan might be one of those type of guys, and obviously, we don't really want to lose him, but it might hurt our team a lot in terms of the offensive depth scoring. And the last and final comment is from Sanon Otaku, who says, not that I mind longer videos, but having injuries on the Draft to Glory mode really messes with the pacing. Too much micromanagement, as you said. In spite of that, this was a great bounce-back season for the team. These new coaches did a fantastic job. Here's hoping for a lengthy playoff run. And yeah, I totally agree about the injuries kind of making the episodes a little bit all over the place. I would turn them back off again, but I know for some of you guys, you want realism where there's actually injuries, so that's why I turned them back on. But yeah, hopefully they don't play too much of a factor like they did, at least at the beginning of when I turned them on this season. So Those were the comments we got in last episode. So there was one thing I wanted to take a look at before we go into this round, because I meant to take a look at it last episode, but I completely forgot. And that is what Stajan's contract extension is looking like now. I think I was wanting to see what he was asking for at this point, because Stajan was asking for a lot of money at one point. He got over 100 points this year, and yeah, now he's trying to get paid even more. So there's a good chance we end up losing him because it would sacrifice our depth. But if we did do the 85% trick, I guess we would be able to knock down a couple $1 million off this. But yeah, basically there is a good chance we would end up losing him because it would sacrifice our depth on our team quite a bit. But I wouldn't mind if there is a way that we could find a way to keep him, because he is one of our best players on this team at the moment. I like him a lot better than even Lehman at the moment. I kind of wish Lehman wasn't signed as long-term as he was at that point, because if we would have had him for, say, one more year only, and he'd be a pending free agent as well at that point, I might honestly choose Stajan over Lehman, which would be kind of weird because one's elite for sure, and one of them could be elite, but he also could be a top 6. But I do like Stajan's production a lot more, I think, at the moment. But anyways, that's that. Let's get into this first round matchup against the Habs and see if we could get some wins early on while Slavkovsky is still injured, and hopefully when Slavkovsky comes back, he doesn't really make much of a difference for the Habs. So here we go. We have home ice advantage, I think, the entire playoffs, unless we play the Rangers in some sort of playoff matchup, because they were the team that won the President's Trophy. I think they had over 60 wins or close to 60 wins. So should be interesting to see if they're able to actually get far being a President's Trophy winning team, or if we're able to get far since we were the second best team. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1. Keep the lineup the same for now. Let's see if we can get our offense going and our defense can play better than it has in the past. First period of game number 1. 1-0 Habs. Not ideal. It's a late goal in the first period with 54 seconds left. At least the shots are pretty even, so it was a good defensive period, but they just managed to get one late. So we're only down by 1 goal. So Sonnenberg off to an okay start. We need to find our offense though, obviously, because our offense is what makes us a good team. Can we find a way to get a goal in the second to tie this one up, or maybe get a couple to give us a lead? Second period. It is 3-0 Habs. Oh my god. I feel like we're going to get cheesed in a way. The Habs aren't a bad team, but I feel like we're going to get cheesed just because we finished way too high in the standings and we had such a good year. Caulfield scores 2 goals to make it 3-0, and I meant to move my screen. Sorry about that. I completely forgot. There we go. So 3-0 after 2. Shots are 26-21 in favor of the Habs. Not an ideal start for this game for us. Sonnenberg has been okay because he's had to face a decent amount of shots, but our offense needs to get going here because it is very quiet at the moment. And like I said, our offense is our main thing on this team. Our defensive core is still going through a lot of changes over these years. Goaltending as well. Not ideal, being down 3-0. We need to find a way to break the goose egg. Berkeley Catan scores and make it 4-0. They have 2 power play goals in this game as well. So this is not a good start at all for our team. We get shut out in game 1. Not a bad defensive effort. And it's a bad defensive effort. Goaltending-wise, good effort from Sonnenberg. I mean, he made 36 saves. But our team, offensively, that's our main problem right now. Because, their top guys were able to score and our top guys weren't. So we need to get our top guys going. Caulfield and Catan have a combined 6 points in that game. Like I was mentioning, we need to contain them if we want to have a chance to win this. And Tucker Perreault gets a shutout. Caulfield and Catan are very, very good. And if Slavkovsky comes back, he's going to make them even much better. So we need to find a way to shut down that top line a bit better. And we also need to find a way to get our offense going. Let's maybe make some line adjustments. I know it's a little bit early on, but I do think that was not a great game for our team. So let's do a little bit of a flip-flop. I could put Stajan back to the second line potentially. I know De La Rivera could take face-offs as well. Maybe we should put Lehman on the left side, I guess, because he's a right-handed shot. Weber could go over to the right side because he's a right-handed shot. And then we'll put De La Rivera down the middle, even though he's not a center. It's more just because he's actually got okay face-offs. We could always swap him and Pierce Bottle, do a lot of random adjustments to this top 6. But defensively, do we want to make any changes? Not really. I mean, it's just pretty average defense right now. And then, like I said, Sonnenberg was okay in that first game. He had a 900 save percentage, but The team didn't play good defensively in front of him. We do have depth options we could throw in the lineup if we get into more trouble defensively, but for right now, I think we're okay. Just got to find a way to get our offense going in Game 2, because if we go down 2-0 headed to Montreal, there's a good chance that we'll lose in this first round, and that would not be good. I don't want to get cheesed out of this series right now. I want to get to the conference finals, so hopefully we could have a good response in Game 2. Okay, here we go. Game 2 on home ice. We need to tie this series up here, boys. And this is a must-win game. We need our offense to get going as well, if possible. First period of game number 2. And let me move my face again, because I almost forgot. Hey, that's much better. That is much better. The 2 W's, Joel Weber scores, and Mauricio Wilm. That's a much better period. Good offense, good defense, just like last game kind of in the first period. I don't mind that at all. Shots are 11-4 in favor of us, so we're dominating the flow of this game. We definitely need to have a strong second period as well, though, because we have seen a ton of times where you score 2 goals and then the other team scores 2 goals in the second period. Oh my goodness, Sonnenberg. I hate this guy, man. He's like Dinkelberg from friggin' Fairly Odd Parents. Sonnenberg, oh my god. We were up 2-0. We get completely outshot in the second period because I think they only had 4 shots in the first period. So they outshoot us with 17 shots in that period. And Catan pulls them within 1. Spence ties the game, and Afanasayev gives them the lead. Yeah, we don't deserve to win this series at this rate. The way we're playing, that was a very bad period. We need to be much better in this third period, or else we're going to be down 0-2 headed to Montreal. Power play early in the third. We do not score on it. Come on, boys. We had a 2-0 lead. We need to get back in this. Della Rivera ties the game up. That's huge. That is huge. Power play for Montreal. We need to kill it off here, please, boys. It's a long penalty. I don't know who took this penalty, but don't do that, please. And, a late goal from Paul Mayer, of all people, gives Halifax the win. Huge goal from Paul Mayer, the guy that's probably on his way out soon. We win this game 4-3, just barely escape with the victory, and we have a tie series headed to Montreal. The final shot's 33-26, so I would say that was an okay game, just the second period was abysmal. We need to be much better in all periods if we can. Let me move my face again here. Weber from Lehman. Oh my goodness, I can barely talk. Weber from Lehman and Della Rivera. Wilm from Stajan in Ahinen. Della Rivera from Lehman and Weber. And Mayer from Pirozabottle. And Sergeyev picks up his first ever playoff point, I think. I did want to take a look at the shot chart here. I am going to move my face again just quickly. Just off the screen so you guys can see. But yeah, we got dominated in that second period, 17-4 to shots. So we need to be much better on terms of getting shots on goal and limiting shots as well. They had much more face-off wins as well. They had 20 more face-off wins than us. So hopefully we could be benched better down the middle, in a sense. Yeah, Sonnenberg was okay in that game again. He has been probably one of our better players in the series so far. Della Rivera, the first star, 2 points. Paul Mayer, the second star. And Joel Weber, the third star, with 2 points. But Paul Mayer, the game-winning goal. That's not who I expected, but I will take it. I'll take goals from anybody on this team at this rate. So we have a tie series headed to Montreal. Is Slavkovsky going to be back for this game or game 4? I got to take a look at their lines and see if he's back yet. Because once he's back, it is going to be much tougher to contain that top line. I think we contained that top line pretty well in this last game, so that's good at least. But we got to maintain that every single game from here on out, if possible. Let me take a look at Montreal and see if Slavkovsky is back. He is. He's partially injured, so if we could rough him up a little bit, maybe he won't come back for the series. Not that I like to condone injuries, but you never know. Might be a good thing for our team to do is just go out and kind of give him a little bit of a whack and maybe he doesn't come back. Okay, let's get into game 3. We're in Montreal now, so we're going to need to win on the road if we want to get a chance to take a series lead here. So let's see what happens. Game 3. Let's have a good game like last game if possible, other than that second period. First period of game 3. 1-0 Montreal, so very similar to game 1. We are down 1-0 after 1. Sonnenberg is playing great right now because we're being outshot 17-8. We're lucky that we're in this game at this point in time. That's almost similar to what the second period was like last game, but we didn't give up as much goals. So Sonnenberg doing whatever he can to hold his team in this game. Can we get our offense going? Or is this going to be another game like game 1 where our offense is just nowhere? Second period. 2-2. Let's go. Okay. Mathieu scores and Stajan scores to give us the lead, but Brisebois scores to give them a tie. Shots are 24-18 in favor of Montreal. We're lucky that we're still in this game, like I said, because of that great first period from Sonnenberg. Can we find a way to get the lead in this third period like last game? Penalty kill early in the third. It's a long penalty again. I don't know why we take these and they score on it. Savage, of course. And Samuelson scores as well right afterwards. God damn it, boys. We had a 2-1 lead, but bad third period here. This is definitely not on Sonnenberg again. We're just giving up way too much shots on goal. And unfortunately, we're going to be trailing in this series 2-1. And we need to win that next game because or else we're going to be down 3-1, which is not ideal. Good second period this time around, but a rough third period for our team. So Mathieu from Sherov and Mayer and Stajan from Ahinen and Wilm. We need much more out of this team right now. Much, much more. Who took that penalty, though, that resulted in them scoring that goal at that one point? There was a double minor, and then there was a couple quick penalties early in the third period. One was delay of game, so it was what it is, and one was a high-sticking penalty. Checking from behind. And we also had a double minor in the first period. Yeah, we're a little bit undisciplined, and maybe that's our problem with this team at the moment. So there is that. We need to maybe get a good response from last game. Like I said, Sonnenberg was not the problem in that game, but we are going to probably go ahead here and make some adjustments. Let me move my face back over to here. I think we need to make some adjustments. We have 6 goals in 3 games. That's not really that good offensively. That's 2 goals a game. We need to be much better and more consistent. Trying to think of what we want to try out here. I think I got an idea. We will go back to Wilmette center. Ahinen is going to be moved down to the second line. Delrovere could play on the top line for something different. And then we'll have Stajan with Ahinen and Weber. Yeah, we'll do that. Lasik, Pirozabal, and Sergeyev have been pretty quiet, actually, at this point. But they're not that bad minus-wise. The fourth line's a bit minus, but it's not terrible. Defensively, let's take a look at this. The top 6 is actually pretty good. The top... Oh, okay, we found our problem. It's Rizzy and Boys. Rizzy and Boys are the main problem, so we will split up the 2 DFDs. Maybe. Yeah, we'll split up the 2 DFDs and play Kolsnik with Boys. So that way, maybe our 2 DFDs could help out the defensive play on both those pairings. Goalie-wise, Sonnenberg's been, like I said, one of our better players in this playoff run so far, so we'll keep him in net. Let's see if we could get a good response with the offense being changed up, and also with our defensive core being a bit stronger, because it's a little bit more of a balanced approach, having both DFDs on different pairings instead of one pairing only. So we'll see if that helps us out in our defensive plays. So here you go, guys. This is a must-win game. We lose this game, we go down 3-1, and then we'll need to win 3 straight, which is doable for this team, but it is going to take a lot of work. Come on, boys. We got to win this one. Got to have a good response. First period of game number 4. 1-0 Montreal again. Our offensive depth scoring has been atrocious in this first round. We're lucky again that we're still in this. The shots are even, so we were getting opportunities, but a short-handed goal from Soderstrom has us down by a goal. We seem to always give up short-handed goals in the playoffs. Like, it seems like our team is a bit too offensively minded at its sense, which is not ideal. We need to have a good second period here. We had a good second period last game, and we actually had the lead for a little bit, but we need to find a way to not let them get on the score sheet. Can we get some goals in the second for us to get back in this game here, boys? Please. Second period. 2-0 Montreal. Slavkovsky comes back from injury, scores a late goal. And we're down by 2 goals going into the third. And there is a realistic chance that we're going to be up against the wall and eliminated almost within these next few games if we can't find a way to win. We need a strong third period here, boys, or else we're one loss away from being eliminated in round 1 after an incredible regular season. Come on, guys. Oh my goodness, Reinbacher makes it 3-0. Sea-Doo gets us on the board of all people. Can we get any more goals though? Or is that Reinbacher goal going to be the one that's tough for us to come back? And come on, boys, please. Mauricio Wilm has been nowhere hardly since game 1. Final 5 minutes, still down by a pair of goals. And we are going to get one late. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yo, that is the craziest comeback I've ever seen. When I saw the goal with 11 seconds left, I was like, that's like a little too late because you always lose by 3-2. But Stagenden ties it with 2 seconds left. We scored 2 goals in the final 11 seconds of a crucial game. We're going to overtime. Oh my goodness. If we win this game, I will be absolutely shocked. We'll go on to win the Stanley Cup if we win this overtime. Mark my words. No, I'm joking. I don't know for sure, but holy. This team all of a sudden just finds its second gear in the final 11 seconds. Like, we don't deserve to be in this game at all right now at this point. Well, we do kind of, but we don't deserve to have got this game to overtime based on how we were down 3-0. Can we get a game winner after those 2 late goals? Or is it just for nothing? Please, boys, do it. Do it. I know you have more goals than you. Come on. Let's slap the Habs in the face. Let's go. Let's go. Dan Mason, the 4th liner. We win 4-3. So both of our wins have been by 1 goal, but we did not deserve to win that. That might be the most clutch game I've ever watched in a sim. We're down 3-0. We score with 18-11. We score with 11 seconds left with 2 seconds left. And an early into overtime, a 4th line goal has tied the series at 2. That is absolutely massive. Like, imagine if you were a Montreal fan in Montreal watching this game, and then you see that your team blows this lead in the final 11 seconds only to lose in overtime. Holy crap. So Sea-Doo from Stajan and Wilm, Weber from Sherov, Stajan from Wilm and Lassick, and Mason from Sergeyev and Lassick. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Stajan 1st star, Catan the 2nd star, and Mason the 3rd star. Let's go. Okay. Well, we have a brand new series all of a sudden. We technically could have been swept at this point because both of our wins have been only by a goal. So I am still not fully sold on how we've played in this playoffs, but we do have a tie series. So we just got to find a way to win 2 of these next potentially 3 games. So can we find a way to win this next game and carry that momentum from that last game? Because we have a lot of momentum on our side. Can we carry it into this next game? Game 5 on home ice. Come on, boys. First period, let's get off to a better start. And, okay, that's an okay start, I guess. Savage scores for them with 4:44 left. Mauricio Wilm ties the game up. Good to see Mauricio on the board again. He's starting to pick it up a little bit, it seems like, because he did have an assist last game. Shots are 11-9 in favor of us. It's a 1-1 game. Can we have a good second period? Second period? It is 3-2 Habs. Oh boy, that's not good. Tolvanen gives them the lead. Boys ties it up for us. Keller gives them the lead. Shots are 24-20 in favor of us. We need to have a good third period here. And who knows, maybe this will be another game that ends only by 1 goal. Come on, guys. Let's have a strong third period like last game, and then hopefully we could close the series out in 6 games. Or we could get it to a game 7. I don't know what happens, but let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Doc scores. Makes it 4-2 early in the third period. Once again, we're trailing late. We need another big comeback if possible, as or else we're down 3-2 ahead of the Montreal, and we're going to need to win in Montreal again. Fantasayev makes it 5-2. That's not a good response from our team. It's a good response for Montreal fans, but we're going to lose badly 5-2. And technically, we could have been down 5-0 in the series in the point if it went more than 4 games. But we technically have been bad in every single game, in my opinion, except for maybe a couple periods where we've managed to win games. That's not ideal. Okay, we need to make some adjustments, so we are going to readjust our lineup. Because, yes, we did win a couple games, and we could still force a game 7, but there is still some sort of underlying problem right now, and I don't really know what it is. So let's readjust some things. What we're going to try out is going back to our lines from last season, which might seem weird because Joel Weber had a great season, but I think I'm going to readjust our lines to what they were last year, just to see if it actually helps us out in any way possible. The only thing is, who do we use as this center spot? We don't really have a center for that spot, though. We do have Sherov. We'll have to go back to Sherov on this line. We'll go to Sergeyev as a fourth liner because he's a two-way forward. And we'll go something like this. So yeah, basically back to our old lines just to see if it actually helps out anything. Because our defensive play has still been pretty trash. Rizzy's a -5. Boys is a -4. Those two guys have been the worst defenders on this team at the moment. What if I put both defensemen on the top 4? I don't know if that's a good idea. There's got to be something I could do here. Trying to think of what we could do. I could always try and put Rizzy all the way down to the top 6, so he's getting way less ice time. Because he's been our worst defender by far, in terms of plus-minus. Sonnenberg is now kind of not doing so well. I could go to Nornan, but Nornan wasn't really that good in regular season. Do I give Kimmo Nornan a chance? Or do I just keep with Sonnenberg? I feel like Sonnenberg's run his course in terms of chances. Because every playoff so far, he hasn't been ideal. We're going to go to Nornan for this game. I know it's a risk, but might as well try something. See if we can force a game 7. Sonnenberg's had some good games, but he also needs to be a bit more consistent. And maybe he needs some rest too, because he played a lot during the regular season. Can Nornan force a game 7 back on home ice? And who knows what happens in that sense, because we basically flip-flopped, because it was like loss, win, loss, win, loss. So is this going to be a win to force a game 7? And then hopefully we could break that loss-win trend in game 7. Come on, boys, please. Real-time simulation. Can we force a game 7? Can our offense be much better with the reworked lines that we used to have last season? Come on, guys. Get that offense going. Penalty kill here in the first period, and we killed it off. We've had some really bad first periods as well, though. We've been giving up a lot of goals in the opening period, and that hurts us a little bit in the long run. So we need to be much better in the opening of the games. 0-0 after 1. Shots are 15-6 in favor of Montreal. That's not an ideal start in terms of shots against. We need to be a little bit better in terms of giving up chances. Can we get the first goal of the game? Because their goaltender hasn't had to face a lot so far. Come on, boys. Please. Please get me that first one. Yes, let's go. Della Rovere opens the scoring here, and I meant to move my head again down. I apologize about that. Layman scores to make it 2-0. Great second period so far from the boys. Just got to lock it down here the rest of the way if possible. Get a little bit more insurance if you can. And we're going to be up 2-0 going into the third period. Our fate is in our hands. We're being outshot 24-14. Up 2-0. We're a period away from forcing a game 7. Can we hold on? Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Let's force that game 7 on home ice, and then hopefully we can break this win-loss trend. And Sergeyev makes it 3-0 with his first ever playoff goal. That's a huge one. Della Rovere scores on the power play. This might be our most complete game yet in terms of offensive consistency, and our defensive play in this game has been much, much better than it has been in other games. Layman scores again, making it 5-0. And we get our first shutout of the playoffs, and it's Nornan's playoff debut. He picks up a 30-save shutout. I guess he will start Game 7 as well, considering he just got a shutout in his first ever playoff start. That's pretty impressive. That's what we need from a playoff goaltender. So from Delaware, from Piero Zabotal, and Mayer Layman from Sherov and Lasic, Sergeyev from Sherov and Weber, Delaware from Ahinen and Wilm, Layman from Delaware and Piero Zabotal. So I think Delaware had like a 3 or 4 point night, which is pretty good. Yeah, you had 3 points. Layman had 2 points. Like a lot of our guys that hadn't stepped up too much had picked up points, which is good. We didn't have shots on goal, though, from Wilm, I think it said, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Wilm had no shots on goal. That's not ideal. But yeah, 30-save shutout from Nornan in his first ever playoff start. Love to see it. He gets second star of the game, Delaware first star, and Layman the third star. So I think we got to keep Nornan in the net, considering he did much better. The defensive changes as well about putting Rizzy down on the top 6 might have helped us out defensively as well. So I guess we will go to Nornan again for the second straight game and hope that he could get us to that second round, because I didn't know if I expected us to go to a Game 7 with Montreal, but I knew that they definitely had the weapons to force a Game 7 with those top guys, but their depth is still not the best. But can Norton get another shutout or get us another win at least? What a start. He had no shutouts in the regular season. He only had one in his first season in the NHL, so his second career shutout is a playoff victory. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Maybe he's a playoff goalie and Sonnenberg's the regular season guy. But yeah, let's keep our team the same. Let's keep our team the same. Game 7 on home ice. Can we finally win a game on home ice? Because I don't think we've won much on home ice so far, right? We've won one game on home ice, yeah. We're only one win on home ice. On the road so far, we've won 2 games. Can we win our first home game since Game 2 and get to that second round against no confirmed team yet? I don't think, at least. Here we go. We need a big performance from the team. We played great defensively last game. Can we do it again? Can we get the offense like last game as well? Penalty kill here in Game 7. We kill it off. Nicely done. And Spence scores first for them. So much for that shutout streak from Norton. He played great in his first game. Gives up a goal here in the first period of Game 7. Do we have a response? Because we need a response from that. And it's going to be 1-0 Habs after 1 with the shots 8-7 in favor of us. We need to have a strong second period here. We need to get a lot more shots, limit their opportunities, and Norton has to just do what he did all last game. Huge second period here. Let's see if we can get on the board. Penalty kill early to start the second. You do not want to take penalties early in the second period, guys. Just don't do that, please. Come on. Let's get that next goal. Let's get that next goal. We're in the crucial stages of this game. We need a goal. And we are going to be down 1-0 going into the third with the shots 20-13. We're not generating enough shots on this goaltender right now. Norton has been playing good. He's keeping us in this game again. We need to find our offense here. If we do not find our offense in this period, the season is done and we lose in Game 7 of Round 1 after an incredible regular season. We shouldn't be really in this type of spot at this moment. But also we could have been swept technically too if we didn't win those crazy games. So we need a big third period here, boys. Let's go down to 4 times sim, even though it's just the third period. See if we could find a way to tie this one up here because we definitely need it. Come on, Mauricio. I believe in you, man. Come on, Layman, Stajan. Piero's a bottle. Somebody on the team. Hey, Sheriff, the Sheriff. Let's go, Sheriff. But Spence answers back for them, but Wilm answers back for us. There's our captain. Oh, my goodness. We might actually have to watch a Game 7 because you guys did say during elimination games to watch overtime, so we might actually have to do that, even though this episode is already like in the 30-minute range. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Oh, no. Slavkovsky comes back. No. Friggin' Christ, Norton. I don't blame him, though, but we're out in round 1 after a great season. It looked like we would have been maybe going to overtime, but Slavkovsky coming back from injury is the dagger, and we lose in round 1 in 7 games. Well, that is not the type of season I was hoping for. I kind of hate it, though, in this game. It's like you have a great season, and for some reason your team just doesn't do it in the playoffs. I get that it's kind of realistic in that sense, but we deserved a lot better than a first-round exit this year. But we didn't really play that well in the playoffs either, so maybe we didn't. The Sheriff from Weber and Rizzi, Wilm from Ahinen, but then 2 late goals. And, yeah, the addition of Slavkovsky gives them the win at top line. Like I said, we needed to contain them, and we didn't really do that. I wouldn't fully put that game on Norton. I think he kept us in the game early on. But obviously those last few minutes really hurt. God damn, man. That really sucks. I don't know why this team's out in round 1. Like we are definitely a lot better, I'd say, in terms of depth than the Habs, but god damn, man. Let's take a look at our player stats and then we'll simulate up to the awards and all that stuff, even though we're already like 35 minutes in. Another disappointing year for the Halifax Raiders. Well, not fully disappointing, but still kind of disappointing. Wilman, De La Rivera were good. Like, our offensive depth scoring was pretty good. but it was like a couple of guys on like the defensive side of things that were terrible plus minus wise. Like you had Paul Mayer who was a +3, which is great, but you look at this. Mitchell Rizzi was a -6 in 7 games. He's a pending RFA for 1 more year. But he went from being a great defenseman in the regular season to terrible in the playoffs. Mason was -3. He did have a game-winning goal, so I won't shout him out too much. Sergeyev had 3 points. And also, yeah, Maddox Boys has been a big disappointment to this team. Big disappointment. He is signed for 3 more seasons, but at least he's not that expensive of a contract. And then goaltending-wise, yeah, Norton has been much better in the playoffs so far. He did pick up a shutout. Didn't have the best second game. But yeah, Sonnenberg needs to be very much better in the playoffs. Like, he's only signed for 2 more seasons, which is a little bit cap constraint-wise. But we need to be much better in terms of defensive play and goaltending-wise. Like, we have the offensive capability, but if our offense doesn't go for a game, we need the defense and the goaltending to be much better. So there's that. Let's simulate and see who ends up winning the Stanley Cup in 2035. If it's the Habs, I'm going to be kind of mad because I think our team's much better than theirs, but it is what it is. Let's see. Who is going to win the Cup? The Nashville Predators. Okay, and Belleville wins the AHL. Let's take a look at that Cup-winning Nashville Predators team. And also, who did they beat for the Stanley Cup? The New York Islanders. Okay. Wow. Let's take a look at Nashville and New York, just because why not? This hurts, man. Nashville winning the Stanley Cup before we do, huh? Holy shit. Joakim Kemell. Insane stat line. I don't know where that came from. And then Tuukka Kuda, the guy that we could have... we couldn't have drafted him because we were already contending by then, I think, almost. But Tuukka Kuda, great player. He wins the Stanley Cup. William Eklund. A lot of good players on this Nashville team. I can kind of see why they won. Yeah, they had a pretty solid roster. Who was in net for them? Dakota Schneider. Never even heard of this guy. Drafted in the 3rd round in 2027. Let's take a look at the Islanders as well, because why not? Gabriel Dag, of course. No Dobson still there. What else they have? Robbins. Earl Kaprizov. They brought in some good players. Drake Batherson. Okay. So there is that. Let's take a look at the award winners. So Nashville, the Stanley Cup champions. New York Rangers, the President's Trophy winners. Nashville and the Islanders in the Cup finals. Berkeley, Catan, the Art Ross, and the Hart. Adam Fox, the Norris for the 3rd straight year. Catan, the Lady Bing. Peltier, the Short King. That has Big Rig, wins the Calder. Kemell, the Conn Smythe winner. Dustin Wolf, the Vezina. And the Jennings. Braden Schneider, the Masterton. St. Louis's coach of Jack Adams. Wenenberg wins the Selke. That's kind of neat. Another guy that was drafted around pretty early on, I think. Catan wins the Lindsay. Matthews, the Richard. AHL-wise, any awards for our AHL team? Probably not, right? No. Okay. So there's that. Let's simulate still up to the retirements in the draft stuff so we can kind of see what this draft class is looking like, because obviously that's our next important thing, is having a good draft. So Seattle has the 1st overall pick, followed by Anaheim, who moves from 11 to 2, San Jose at 3, Washington at 4, and Tampa at 5. Okay. Retirements don't really matter too much, but let's just take a look at this. Okay. 2 big fish, or multiple big fish, but McDavid and Matthews have both retired this season, which is kind of huge that Matthews retired because he was dominating this franchise mode. So now that he's retired, Toronto should fall off more, which makes it easier potentially for us in the standings. Also, guys like DeBrincat and Tage Thompson retiring, also huge for us considering they're in our division. So maybe that helps out a lot. Adam Fox retired too, coming off that Norris winning season. So a lot of these guys retiring might honestly help us in terms of our sim a little bit better. So a lot of solid names retiring. In terms of goaltending, Thatcher Demko retires, Carter Hart. So yeah, a lot of good goalies too. Sorokin. Yeah, pretty big retirement class this year. So there is that. What else we got here? Any retirements to coaches? Yes, we lose Kalus, who I think was our goalie coach, if I remember right. We lose Tadicek, who was a goalie. No, Tadicek was the goalie coach, right? Or was he our head coach? I do know both those guys, but we do need to add more coaches this offseason again, which really sucks. I do need to write down... Actually, no, I don't need to write down who retired because we'll take a look at which coaches those were that retired. But draft interview-wise, I don't even know if I'm going to do any draft interviews. Oh, boy, it was a medium franchise draft, huh? Landon McGrath. Interesting. Is there anything good supposed to go around our spot? Probably not. Medium top 4 defenseman and Billy Mara. I want an offensive defenseman, though. There's like barely ever any of those guys. Lowly two-way forward in Matthew Robida. Well, that might be one of our top picks because he's a lowly guaranteed. And he's a two-way forward, so that could help us out defensively. There's also Ivanov, who looks pretty good. Might be a medium elite sniper. I don't know if he actually is, but it looks like there's actually going to be some decent players that we can maybe get our hands on. Hartnell, 20 years old, 1 year maybe ETA. ETA. Let me interview him. If he has a 1 year ETA, that would be really nice. But he might be only a top 4 with like 78 overall. But we definitely could use more defenders. So let's see. Hartnell, I need a few seasons, so he might be 2 years out. He's 3 years out. Damn, man. I was hoping for that being 1 year out. Let's see. Play style. He looks like to be a two-way. And him being 20 years old already is a bit of a risk. So that's not ideal if he's 3 years out at 20. But he might be medium elite because of that. Yeah, if he's 20 years old, I don't see him being a top 4. I honestly don't. I think this guy's medium elite. I think he's medium elite, but he's going to be a little bit of a lower overall. But he is, I think, medium elite, being 20. So that might be a guy to take a risk on. But there is a lot of solid players, it looks like, in this draft that are later the top 6 forwards, top 4 defenders. We actually might be able to get some good stuff in. But still, I would have rather the Stanley Cup win, but no. Let's see. No other guaranteed low elites, which sucks. Any guaranteed medium elites? There is a goaltender. We'll pin him, I guess. What else we got here? Maybe this guy. Ooh. Oh, he's supposed to go way early. Didn't realize. Thought he was supposed to be a late round pick. I was going to be like, damn, man, that's a good steal. This guy looks decent, too. 2 years out, potentially. We'll pin Arkhipov as well. So there's that. That is the draft class. Okay, final few things. Let's take a look at the progress reports and the contract situation, just to see what we have to deal with this offseason. But does this time end for Stajan on Halifax? I think so. That asking price is super high. And yeah, I don't think there's any way I could bring him back. Obviously, like guys like Piero Zabotle likely get qualified still for another year, but we could start signing them up for a few more years. Rizzi is only 1 year out from being a UFA, so I don't know what happens with him either. We have a lot of tough decisions with these contracts. The good thing is, though, we do have guys that could make the jump, like Haken, for example, is looking like a full-time NHLer now, which is nice. So we will have guys jump up. Sharov is still dropping off a cliff, which really sucks. But he's very cheap, so we'll probably hold on to him as a depth option for the team. Booz is up to a 75, so it looks like we got some good growth in the AHL, which is nice, but we definitely need more of it. Richter's a 71, unsigned. He will likely play in the AHL next year, which is good. Okay, that's pretty much all that. There's also Norton, Gove for goaltenders. Nikitin's probably not coming back. Why couldn't we have won the Stanley Cup this year, huh? Final thing, progress reports. Let's see if anybody's getting some crazy growth. Yeah, Hagen's the big one. He's a 4th liner now, so he likely jumps up. He has very good passing, not good offensive awareness, though. Good shooting. Looks like a pretty good offensive player for the most part, without the awareness factor. Hamalainen's also ready to maybe make that jump, which is also good. Very good offensive awareness on him. Very good passing. And yeah, he looks like he's going to be a very good playmaker to set up guys. So he honestly could be a good replacement for Stajan, him or Hagen, or both. We also got some growth from Mason, looks like a little bit. But yeah, we definitely have guys that are going to be jumping up, which is nice. Flood is listed as a top 6 defender now, so he could technically play on our defensive core if we decide to make a change to it. And then in the system, what do we got here? Habscheid's up to a 71 and 20. That's pretty good. Burrish is getting some growth too. 61 at 21 is not ideal though. 72 at 20 for Mateo Burkhoff. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, so we're getting growth in our system, which is nice to see. But at the same time, I would have rather won a Stanley Cup by now. But a lot of these guys hopefully could be factors in terms of winning us a Stanley Cup down the road. Yeah, a lot of growth down there, which is awesome to see. Very much awesome to see. But guys like Kozlov are not developing more than a 76, which is not good. And yeah, the goalie factor is interesting. A lot of them are getting growth. Norden and Sonnenberg are staying exactly kind of where they are. But we do have an abundance of goalies still, like Gove, like I said, Solis, Burkhoff, and then the other guys, maybe a bit more long shots. Misselli's taking a while to grow as well. So there is that, and that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to another off season. We'll try and maintain this roster as much as we can, and obviously bring in a lot of fresh faces from the AHL, and hopefully that's what this team needs to turn the page and win a Stanley Cup, because I think this team is definitely going to fall off a little bit without Stajan if we don't bring him back. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.